Alright, fellow ninjas, just like you saw in this new intro, this is a new series on this channel just for you. We're going to be answering questions from our email list, from our YouTube channel, and answer them directly in these videos. So make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Also leave a comment below with your thoughts and any future questions you want answered on these videos. Today's question I'm going to be answering comes from Zach on our email list. He wrote in, "Hey Tap Bros, I really like the tutorials. When are you gonna do a tutorial over the backflip or the front flip on the channel? I can't wait for that." The biggest thing that holds me back in doing my backflip is getting over the fear of going backwards. I can't even do the back handspring because I'm so afraid of getting hurt when I go backwards. Is there anything that I can do to get over this fear? Please, please help. All right, Zach, I totally understand where you're coming from, and believe it or not, I was, when I was first learning my backflip, I was super afraid of going backwards, and I was basically in the same situation. I was so afraid of going backwards and upside down that I just was too afraid to attempt it. And especially if you're in the situation where I was, where if you don't have a gymnastics gym, you don't have mats, you don't have a trusty spotter, because I definitely couldn't trust my brother spotting me. He would have just dropped me on my neck. So, you know, you might be just in a situation where all you have is your backyard. Well, I'm going to share with you 3 tips today to help get over this fear, help eliminate this fear for going backwards and doing your backflip. Now, to answer the other question, when are we going to put some backflip and front flip tutorials on? Well, here in the next few weeks, we got some cooking up, so make sure to stay tuned on this channel because we're going to have a lot of content coming your way. And we're going to be having at least a back handspring tutorial coming in the next few weeks. Okay, so on to these tips, and if you're out there and you're in the same situation as Zach, you're afraid of going backwards, you're afraid of doing your backflip, there is hope out there. You're not doomed to never be able to do your backflip, but the tips that I give you today, I want you to make sure to implement them, and really, if you have to, you know, watch this video a few times and really do these things that I'm saying here because it's going to eliminate all those fears. All right, tip number 1, and this is probably going to be the biggest and easiest way to get over the fear, and that is developing the physical abilities to do your backflip. For example, developing the flexibility, particularly with your back bridge. The back bridge stretch is going to be one of the best stretches that you can get, one of the best flexibility points you can get for your back handspring, for your backflip, because if you're able to go into this position comfortably, you know that, oh, you're basically in that back handspring position there. And you're also, you know that that's the worst that can happen when you go for your backflip, is you can go backwards and you can go into this position here. So getting this flexibility is key. The other thing is developing core strength. The core strength is super important. You know, when you see people jump up in the backflip and they kind of squirrel out and they bail, a lot of that has to do with core strength. If you have good core strength, you're going to have a lot more control in the air, and this is going to eliminate a lot of those fears. So train things like your ab row, your hollow position, Superman raise, jump tucks. Get this core strength down. Work on your front roll and back roll on the ground, getting nice and a tight tuck. Then physically, you need to develop the coordination. Develop the coordinated jump using the arms and the legs together. Get comfortable with your handstand. This one's really big because this does a few things. It gets you comfortable upside down, landing on your hands, so you're going to be way more comfortable when going for your back handspring. You're also going to be comfortable upside down, and you're going to develop strength to help with doing your back handspring, or if you have to bail with your backflip, you're going to be so much more confident because you're going to have that strength. So practice walking around on your hands, playing around on your hands, just going into the handstand position, handstand against the wall. Develop this strength here. And then last, you need to develop the jump. And this is a huge one because, you know, if you can't jump up high enough, this is how you land on your head when you try to do your backflip. For your jump, you know, work on standing jumps. Work on your squat. If you can perform weighted squats, this is great for developing that explosive strength. If you don't have weights, you can do one-legged squats. Develop this jump here. If you want an awesome set of exercises to develop your jump, click here because these are ballet exercises I learned in ballet. Now, some guys see ballet and are, oh no, screw that, man. Ballet's weak, man. I felt the same way when I was younger in high school. I didn't know anything about ballet, and I just assumed it was for, just girls. But ballet is fantastic, and that's one of the things I regret is training things like this, because the exercises are just incredible. So, I mean, guys right now who have been following these ballet exercises, they're increasing inches on their jump, and they're actually, some guys are just through these exercises getting their dunk. So they're able to dunk a basketball now just because of these exercises. So if you need to get your jump up, follow these exercises here. But yeah, develop the physical side. This is a huge one, and there's no excuse for not developing this. It doesn't require any level of overcoming fear to just train your body to be strong and to have these things down. So these you gotta train, get them down, because once you get these solid, you have that flexibility, you have that strength with the jump. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna make doing flips, doing your backflip, going backwards and upside down 10 times easier, and you're just gonna be able to perform your back handspring without even thinking about it, perform your backflip without even thinking about it. So train these things. Second tip, follow gradual progression steps to get comfortable with this. So I'm gonna do something special for you here. I'm gonna share with you the exact method that I used in my backyard to gradually get my backflip. Now, this is very unorthodox. If you go to a gym, they're not gonna teach this method because you run the risk of creating bad habits and different things like this. But if you don't have access to a gym, you don't have spotters, you don't have mats, this is an easier way of getting that back handspring or backflip. You're gonna start off with something you're comfortable with. A lot of us, we can do a cartwheel. So I started off with learning my cartwheel. Master your cartwheel on both sides, get it comfortable. Then you're gonna take your cartwheel and turn that into a crooked back handspring. Now, this is where it's really unorthodox, but it's an easy way to get comfortable with going backwards. So what you're gonna do is start off like you would for a back handspring, get down and just turn and go into your cartwheel. Then turn this into a crooked back handspring. You're gonna turn and look over just a little bit so you're comfortable. And it's gonna be crappy at first, but you're gonna get over that fear. So then take this crooked back handspring and straighten it. You wanna go from the crooked back handspring to your straight back handspring as quickly as possible. Then perfect your straight back handspring. Then what I did from here was I just added more and more height with my back handspring. So I turned it into what I called a flip-flop. So you go a little bit higher. This is where that strength comes in because you want a little bit more strength to absorb with the upper body. And then you're going to add more and more height until you can tuck your legs and whip around. So what I was able to do with this was I was able to keep my hands there and feel comfortable. I was able to not fully go for the backflip and then kind of do my backflip, so it made me feel a lot more comfortable. Then perfect this backflip. That's when you want to focus on getting the set, really throwing your arms straight up, trying to get as much height as possible, and then going into your tuck and landing in basically the same spot. So this is how I was able to gradually learn my backflip. It's nothing pretty, it's not perfect, but it works, and it worked well for me. And if you don't have a gym or anything like this, this is a way you can get over the fear of going backwards and get your backflip. Then also there's a little trick that I used. You can use rings or you can use a pull-up bar, and what this does is it helps you get comfortable with rotating around and knowing how it feels like to do the backflip technique, or at least to rotate all the way around. So you're gonna grab the rail and you're going to, with your core, tuck your legs in and lean back and rotate all the way around just like you would for a backflip. You can also do this with rings. This does a couple of things. Get your core engaged and used to tucking and creating that rotation going backwards. And it's an easy way to get comfortable with the backflip because you have the assistance with your hand and you don't have the fear of bailing and hurting yourself. So use these gradual progression steps. They're huge, helped me a lot. I'm sure they'll help you a lot as well, Zach. All right, I wanted to keep you on your toes, so I switched locations. The third step, or the third tip, and this is a kind of a mixture of a few things, but do what you can right now. Whatever is in your power right now to start getting your backflip and get over this fear, use it. So, for example, you have the internet. Google any type of gymnastics gym, any type of cheerleading gym, parkour gym, and look to see what's out there. If you can go to an open gym, a comfortable environment is huge for getting over these fears and start using these progressions and start training your backflip and your back handspring. Or even better yet, if you can find an instructor, it's totally worth it if this is a big goal for you to get an instructor to help spot you, to help take you through the progressions, especially with gymnastics. Gymnastic coaches are some of the best out there at getting you to get your backflip or back handspring very quickly. But I know some of us might not be in that position right now to be able to afford classes and all those things. The stuff that I showed you in this video, follow those gradual progression steps. And if anything, train the physical abilities, because that's where, in my opinion, that's where the magic is. You train those things, that flexibility, the jump, the core strength, this is where you're gonna see the most results, and it requires, again, you don't have to overcome any fear for that. So do what you can and start doing it now. Be consistent with it. If you're training, if you want your backflip, train at least 3 times a week. Dedicate 30 minutes to an hour just on working on getting your backflip. And even if you can't, attempt it right now, that's fine. Work on those progressions, work on your cartwheel, master the strength and the core strength and the flexibility. So Zach, use those tips. I know it's gonna help a lot with getting over the fear. And remember, do what you can right now and take action. So after watching this video, go and start training. Okay, now I have something special for you to continue on your backflip training, because I know I just laid out a few huge tips for getting over the fear, but my buddy DeAndre Jones, he's been on this channel before, you probably remember him. The homeboy here, subscribe to his channel now. Make sure to click on this, because he is putting out a backflip series on his channel. It's incredible content. He's giving you all that he knows about the backflip. So subscribe to his channel here and check out that series. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, because I'm going to be giving you awesome content. You're going to be seeing a back handspring tutorial here in the next few weeks. And let me know your thoughts on this video, if these tips help, and if you have any tips out there, make sure to share them in the comments. Stuff that's helped you with your backflip or your back handspring. I'm sure a lot of us can learn from you as well. So train safe, especially with the backflip and back handspring. Use your head, be smart, and I'll see you in the next video.